So in our teaching methods in all the classes, that's one of the approaches we take. You go to home management, you'll see that it's all the normal appliances everybody else uses.
You can go out there and spend lots of money buying all these little gadgets and gizmos and that, but no, we want people to be able, again, to integrate, you know, in with everybody else in society. We have activities that we go out to. Annually, we take a dog sledding trip up north, and students drive the dog sleds, and we go apple picking. We go rock climbing. It's those activities that your friends, family do so that you can interact with them, but it also allows you to transfer the skills that you've learned in the classroom to the real world outside.
I also like being around, like when I'm feeling bad about myself and I can't do things because I'm blind. And then I know Sean and I know Al and all these other people who are, you know, they have houses and they're doing all these great things, so it takes the excuses away.
I suppose then there's a real healthy, strong community in the Twin Cities here of people with visual impairments who live the lives they want to live. And obviously for you, it was a strong component and the reason why you decided to stick around even after you graduated.
I had a strange story. This is a story the other day. Some woman, she walked up to me and she wanted to know if there was something wrong in Minnesota. She thought there were so many blind people she sees walking up and down the street, so she thought there was something wrong with the water. And I was like, no, there's an independent community here. So.
People say, well, Blind Incorporated, they have high expectations. And I say, well, we have the same expectations for a blind person as you would have for someone with some sight, or, you know, as a sighted person. The word independence to us means many different things depending on what area you're talking about. But for example, in travel, independence means I can go where I want, when I want, by myself, without taking somebody's arm and having, you know, or having to follow someone. Some other people, definition of independence is, well, you can walk around with a cane safely, but, you know, you're going to need help crossing streets and that sort of thing. And we believe, well, we should be able to go where we want by ourselves.
One of the things that's very important when we have staff here is that we have a belief in students. As students are going through the program, I think it's human nature that we all put limits upon ourselves, what we do. And so we're going to push people and stretch their limits out there, and so that they can expand what they believe that they can do. So we have to, that can-do attitude that Michelle was referring to earlier. Take, for example, in travel class, students will be given an address and they'll be able to go out on their own and locate that business.
This was the first place that required something of me. That's why I was really attracted to here, because if you don't follow the rules, you know, then you're basically asking yourself to leave.
Yeah.
And I've never been someplace that I was required to do anything. You know, if I was in a math class or something, the teacher was just happy that I showed up, and then they'd give you a grade for that. And so I knew anything that I did here was, I was really being graded on what I did. Sean was always challenging me to shop for myself. I never went to a store by myself before. And then the next move was traveling and being in the airport and being independent. So always my fight in the airport now is to stay independent and not to be sitting with the unaccompanied minors. And they've given us skills to really do that efficiently. And I find I get to my seat faster than sighted people. I even get to my gate a lot of times faster. And I go anywhere and I'm confident, and because of the skills they've taught us with traveling, that you don't have to just, because of the skills I acquired from travel class, I don't feel like I have to know someplace before.
Right.
You know, I just go and I use my cane and I'm fine.
We believe the real problem of blindness isn't the lack of eyesight, it's the lack of information about blindness. And we believe that with the proper training and the opportunity, the blind person can be successfully competitive along his or her sighted co-workers. We go on to believe that blindness can be reduced to a nuisance. And that core philosophy is what drives what we do, how we teach, and how we make decisions on what we teach, and our expectations of other people.
I thought blindness meant I couldn't have a family. I thought it meant, you know, I couldn't get married. I never do anything alone.
Do you think a lot of blind people today still have that?
I
think
Not people named
Notion.
B, but
Right.
yeah. The other thing I got from being here too is that like I didn't want to be a singer because I thought it was a blind job, and I assumed that sighted people, blind people only they weaved baskets or they sang, and so it's something I didn't want to do. So from being here and realizing that it's just a characteristic, I'm blind, I'm black, you know, all that kind of stuff, I'm a woman, I was able to really go into my career and know that, you know, I'm not doing that because I'm blind.
One of the things that goes on in a center like this, you know, there's the classroom instruction, but there's so much more that happens in between classes and in the evenings, interacting with other blind people and our blind role models. So, you know, we call some of what we do using alternative techniques, finding a way to get something done non-visually, and I like to call them tools in my toolbox.
the skills are relatively easy to learn. You know, if you practice it, it's like learning any new skill. The part that takes time is that getting to that gut level of really believing in these skills and in yourself
I
as a
think that's
blind.
where the environment would really be conducive to helping that,
Yeah,
you know, assumption
exactly.
within oneself.
The self-confidence that comes from achieving the tasks that we have in each of the classes. You know, they're learning the skills, learning the alternative techniques, but actually doing those things that builds that gut level self-confidence that empowers them to problem solve and go out there and understand that they know they can do it. You know, they know that they know.
Mm-hmm.
When I run into a situation, I don't look and say, oh, can't do that because I can't see. I look at it and say, okay, let's try this, you know, similar to something else that I've done.
It just spurs on such healthy mental activity, doesn't it? You know, it makes you just, it just completely opens the mind up to possibilities.
One of the biggest philosophies is that, you know, before you come here, blindness is really controlling your life. What decisions you make, what you're going to do, how you're going to live. And one of the goals is after training is that you're in control of your life, not blindness.
The initiative, the drive, the productivity, the creativity shown to us here provides inspiration for all of us in knowing how to overcome our own challenges. It provides a motivation to choose to live rather than simply exist. And it provides us with a way to feel closer as humans, specifically to better understand our friends who live in the world of the blind.